What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy, Varni, part of the newly formed DigiGuard United. Here in the studio today with the boys, Dan and Mike. What's up, y'all?
Yo, what's going on?
What's good, fellas?
Yo, what a weekend it was for Digimon Con, bro.
Yeah, baby.
sir.
We got so many new things to talk about here.
It's so wild. I don't even know where to start. I guess all right. I guess we start with the agenda. So our agenda for today, number one, first of all, our Discord server is live. So if you are listening to this episode, please join the Discord server. There's been some great talks been going on. We've had people playing matches in the server. We have things that we're designing, so you get the inside look at what I'm working on and all that sort of fun stuff. So join up, follow us on Twitter, because Dan and I are going back and forth with stuff on Twitter, so that's pretty cool, as well as some other social media platforms that I've kind of been neglecting because I've been working on other stuff. That's besides the point. TikTok. Number two, poll review. So I put up a poll on our last podcast episode. It was the best deck for beginners to build. That deck voted by the populace is Cross Hearts with 5 out of 8 total votes. Machinegimon came in second with 3 out of 8 total votes. And Examon and Mastemon basically got shafted because they're not beginner decks at all. So if you are a new player and you are looking for a deck to build, Cross Hearts is the deck you should build because it is cheap. You can build it for less than what, Mike? Less than like $30 maybe?
Oh god,
so much?
I think Cross 5 is, I think, like, it's actually a couple bucks each. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably less overall though, easily less than 50. I mean, and also I think even if you went with like the Merva version, I think Mervamon's only $5 for the super rare.
She's like $5 or $6 right now.
You need like 3, so 15, and then I mean the whole deck is commons and uncommons. Besides that, it's
tamers,
such a cheap deck.
Even the tamers are cheap, like 12-15 cents, as long as you can get, like, when you place an order from TCG Player, guys, make sure you try to place as many cards as you can within one singular order, so you just save on shipping, because it makes your 12-cent card that would be $1.12 just be a 12-cent card because you're getting it with other cards. You get the best bang for buck here that way.
You gotta hit that optimization in the
hell yeah.
It's the best, man. You gotta
definitely. And try to get it all from one seller too.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I always try to get my stuff.
So the rest of the stuff we're going to be discussing today, locals, which we're going to get to in just a sec, Ultimate Cup review, because both Dan and I participated in this weekend or last weekend's PPG Ultimate Cup. We have Ultimate Cup placings to go over from said Ultimate Cup. And then we're going to be getting to the hot topics of the day, which is going to be mulligans in this lovely game of Digimon, as well as Blast, Digivolution, and counters coming in BT14. Officially.
Mulligans.
So with all that being said, let's get it started.
Speaking of our Twitter, no extra charge. We lit. Hey.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah.
You can't be telling people yet.
You can't be telling that. I know, that was lit. I saw that. I was like, yes. Okay, so locals. This weekend at locals, I played Merva. Not Merva Loop. I absolutely detest Cerberusmon and the entire package. I think that package is shit. I hate it. I hate it. So I play it with Blue Marimon. Basically drawing, discarding level 5s, Skull Greymon, and Ginkaku Promote. And I play a little bit more of a rush version of it. And I like that a lot better. I went 2-1, losing to the winner, Brendan. Shout out to Brendan.
Ryan won.
Oh, it was Ryan. Yes, Brendan came in second. Ryan was playing Machinegimon.
Shake my head. How are you going to mess up? They're brothers, bro.
I know. It's like I'm getting them confused or something. Brendan, Ryan, I'm sorry. So Ryan won playing Machinegimon. Brendan got second playing BL Star, and I got third playing whatever shenanigans I just said I was playing. Matchups, nothing you need to worry about. It literally don't take my third place to one placing as anything as like, oh, it's a good deck. I played against
you know that meme where it's like the person screaming and they're just like, why can't you just be normal? That's you when it comes to a deck. You can't just play anything remotely normal.
Who likes normal? Let's not talk about normal. Dan, what was up with your locals run?
I was fourth place, right? Because you was third, right?
I didn't hear anything after third. I think he stopped at third, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I got my pack. This man stupid.
He said, yeah.
The one time he does well at locals, right? Guys,
like,
I'm not lying.
This guy comes in third place once, bro, and thinks he's on top of the fucking world.
Facts, like Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got 4 plates. I was 2-1. Also, round 1 was Brick City. I was playing Black Warrior 1X. I was,
dirty
the last
scum player.
Bro, this is the last week of running 4 Grade 1Xs, so I just wanted to enjoy the last time in a local setting. Round 1 was a complete brick show. Couldn't do anything. Round 2 played some jank, and then round 3 I played against. I don't even remember. Oh, the mirror match. Easy. So yeah, that's all it was.
He said,
nothing crazy.
He said, "Sweet."
So did you just go 2-1?
Yeah. Because we had a bunch of draws against ties, so that messed up our.
It was so wild.
Getting 4 rounds.
He came back. He was like, "All right, prizing." I was like, "What?" We've only played 3 rounds. He was like, "Yeah, that's it." I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, okay."
Damn.
We had 3 people with ties again, so that threw everything off.
So it's purple decks, man. I keep saying it. I keep telling y'all.
It's people who don't understand how to run the deck and then they're slow playing the shit out of it.
So it's purple decks, baby.
Anyways, that's locals. Let's move on to Ultimate Cup. So I'll go first because mine's
more important,
less important than Dan's. I placed 104th this weekend at locals playing Bloom Hydra. I was legit ready to KMS at the end of round 3. At the end of round 3, I was 1-2. I won my first one, got not the bye, but my opponent gave me the win for the second one and lost the third one. My first round, I lost to the eventual winner of the tournament, who was playing Dorbic. They call it Dorbic. It was Black War Grey Dorbic. Let's get that straight. Because it was... You didn't know it was Dorbic until Dorbic hit you on the last turn with the Ragna play, which is exactly what happened to me in game 2. So that was whatever. Like, I had the problem where I wasn't bricking. Mulligan wouldn't have helped. So let's get that straight. It's not that I should have mulliganed. As a matter of fact, I did mulligan once and that was the wrong decision. I definitely shouldn't have mulliganed. And I just didn't have any gas to keep the game going in the mid round. So I lost those 2 games and I was ready to KMS. Dan said, keep going. I said, ugh. So I kept going and I ended the day 5-3-1.
Yo, what's that sound effect? Hold on. What was that sound effect?
I ended the day 5-3-1. I tied to Dark Nightmon, much to Mike's enjoyment.
DKM, baby.
It was a very winnable match for me. It was just a very back and forth thing, and we couldn't get it wrapped up in time. So it is what it is. If I had won that, maybe I would have placed top 64. Maybe. Not saying I would have, because like Dan said, and he'll elaborate on, the ties were wonky for that too. I lost to All Force. That was my 3rd round loss. And I also lost to, what else? It was Yellow Hybrid. I lost to Yellow Hybrid. So yeah, I won against both of my Bloom mirrors because I am a decent Bloom player, I guess. And I won against some other shit that probably doesn't matter because I don't remember. Oh, Galacticmon, whatever. And some other shit. So yeah, that's me, 104.
Yeah, I would just like to point out that you added me on Saturday and said, I've got some shit to say.
I know, I do have words for you. We can't touch on it today, though. We got too much shit to talk about today.
Whatever.
We'll save it for next podcast. Go, Dan. Your go.
Yeah, so I was 37th place.
37th, baby.
Just got knocked out top 32. I was playing Digimon black based. See, I went 6-2-1. I was 6-0. No, yeah, I was 6-1-1 by the last round. So like I had an opportunity to be top 16, and I didn't do well. I mean, I had opportunity to win, I think, against a Hydra player. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough ultimates, which is so crazy when you think about Digimon that runs 16 ultimates. I could not see ultimates. What's the chances? But I digress. So round 1, I played against a purple rookie rush type deck. It was interesting. It was working. He was like just bum rushing me, but then once I got Digimon out, analog man, nothing he could do. Round 2, I played against U-Force, and that was my first loss. It's probably gonna be the theme of my losses. Didn't see analog man. Round 3 and 4, I played against U-Force. So I played against U-Force 3 times in a row. I won those. Then I played against Galactic. Gallantmon. I'm sorry. Gallantmon.
Way different deck.
1-2-1. Yeah. It started with G. He said Galactic earlier, and just like, you know, played against Gallantmon. Then I played against another U-Force. I played against something else. I don't remember at the moment. And then I played against back-to-back Hydra Blooms for round 8 and 9. The 8th round was a draw with the Hydra Bloom player. He won the first one. I won the second one. By the time I won the second one, it was already overtime. So it was unfortunately no time to really go for game 3. But I was confident enough that if we had time, because it's love slow ass players. You know, Machinima, you know, you don't got many plays. So like, no, I'm kidding. You do got plays, especially when like evolving. But like, I guess I know my deck well enough where like I can speed run my deck, and like I know what play is good, what play is not 90% of the time usually. But I guess Hydra players don't know because they got a bunch of plays going, and if you play tested your deck, you know you should know what's your play. I can read their plays for them. You know, raise Digivolve to Sunflowermon effect. You know, play a Palmon, search, Digivolve to Agitarmon, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do. Probably the better is Digivolve to Agitar first. Then you suspend. I'll play a Palmon, Digivolve to Sunflower, effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, it pops off, right?
Yep. That deck pisses me off so much, bro.
And then the key to them winning usually in my losses is HPD. The moment they see HPD and they can go Hydra, not Hydra, and when they can go Bloom, Lord for free, and then plus 3 to 4 memory, it's like, what do you do? And then they just build another Bloom stack, and then that's how like usually they just win off doing that. Like that HPD, I will reiterate this. I think that card needs to be banned. It should be at 0. It should be at least at 0 for the OT Cup, because like you took away the biggest menace against Hydra Bloom, which is, you know, Dexmon basically, right? But you kept hot HPD, and so the moment they see it is GG every single time, most times.
Yeah.
Unless you get lucky.
The most frustrating part about the HPD in the Bloom is when it just it'll just unsuspend itself, bro. Like after you HPD, like it's just so annoying.
Hey, you don't get to talk, Mr. Imperial. I'm gonna HPD into Dragon Mode, spit out 2 new bodies, and then go Pyodramon, go Burr again.
Yeah, well, you know, it's crazy. Everyone thought that was crazy back then in BTA. Right? I had to have like a tamer on the field to be able to unsuspend, and like I had to have way more setup. Bloom is just like, all right, spit out 20 things in one turn, and then you gain a million memory. If I choke a Bloom player to 1, it is like absolutely insane that they can go all the way from a champion to a mega and keep turn. How is that possible, bro?
especially for Agitar. Agitar can play like the Vegemon.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then you Digizord for a free Blossomon, and then you go to like into a Mega right there. Boom, done. And that's with one memory, and you haven't even used that one memory yet, which is so dumb to me. But
so stupid.
It is what it is. It's cool, you know. It does its thing. When I know I see the correct pieces against that matchup, I know I can win that. So as long as I see analog mans, I see the correct ultimates, I know I can win it. I'm not even like worried about it. It's just a matter of seeing it and the consistency of it. Did Mulligans help? Yes and no. Because Mulligans sometimes, my biggest issue was if I saw analog man in my first hand, I did not want Mulligan it, even if it's garbage. Even if I saw like, you know, 3 ultimates in 1 Machinimon, just because I saw that 1 analog man means the world to me, because that means I'm already started off plussing slowly throughout the game, because we're not in like a extremely fast-paced game right now. I mean, for OT Cups, it's not like extremely fast-paced per se, but like decks like Machinimon can keep up with it, like in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's why surprisingly, like if I had the perfect hand, like I was Machinimon, like turn 2, turn 3, and then Chaos Dramon within that same turn. And like, what does a deck deal with a Chaos Dramon that has, you know, 4 stacks with a bunch of heritables, like, you know what I'm saying, like 4 ultimates, I should say. Like, there's not many decks can do, and usually they have to waste all their resources just to get rid of one. And by the time they do get rid of that one, I'm already set up for another one. So, yeah. So then round 9, I was really, we had a chance that round 8 was gonna be the last round. And I was hoping it was, because I would have been top 16, and it didn't, unfortunately. And went from potentially being top 16 to bubbling out of top 32. That's
tragic,
wide differences. Bro. Why? Because a lot of draws, a lot of ties, and ties to me ruined this game when it comes to placings. So like, it is what it is. I think it's fixable super easily. I think it's easily fixable, but like that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was my OT Cup run. 37 places Machinimon.
37 could have easily been top 16. So I saw a post that said, "Yo, Machinimon players, you can't even win in a format made for you."
I had to comment on that, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yo, that was funny.
I believe I think one Machinimon won like a European.
Not
OT
one.
Cup,
I think it was a top
4.
Yeah. It was a top for sure.
But it was like each OT Cup, like the ones not this week that passed, the week prior, though, like European and like the I think it was Australia or Oceania.
Yeah.
They all had like Machinimon top players topping.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
Just one, but like it was still a Machinimon topping.
Yeah, I mean, even at nationals there was Machinimon topping, and that says a lot about Machinimon. Wait, was there, right? I think there was a couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was
not LA though.
Yeah, there was some at the other nationals, and then throughout the Ultimate Cups, throughout the top 32, I looked at a few lists. I looked at least maybe like 4 to 5 different lists of top 32 Machinimon. So they were definitely there. Just, you know, there's a lot of stuff that any deck has to go through to win a tournament. And that is why anybody who said, when we said this last podcast, which y'all should have heard by the time of listening to this podcast, if you discredit another country or another region because they are less competitive or because there are less players, you're full of shit. Yeah, a deck has to win so much.
Agreed. Yeah.
You have to go through so much. I mean, look at Dan. Dan, you said you was what, 6-1-1, was it? Or 6-2-1, some shit?
Yeah, I mean, my final record was 6-2-1.
Yeah, 6-2-1. And it was a very winnable, basically everything was winnable. Like none of that was unwinnable. Just, it's the luck of Digimon, right? Just as easily as Dan lost the matches, he could have easily won the match. Speaking of easily winning matches, our boy Lychee placed 5th as the sole Alphamon player in the top 32. So first of all,
yo, that man he's a true madman.
Shout out to our boy Lychee. He is absolutely like one of the best Digimon players that I've seen. not because like how consistently he tops, it's what he tops with. It's the decks.
Yeah, that dude is goated.
It's ridiculous. So he was the pioneer. For y'all that don't know, he was the pioneer of Turbo Zwart Defeat. Was it right? Turbo Zwart Defeat back in the days with High Andromon. Doing like BT6 High Andromon and I think the Metal Garurumon that you like, Mike, the black one.
Yeah, the black one.
Yeah, he was the pioneer of that deck, which he took like an Evo Cup or a regionals with or something. And that sparked so much in the community because they were like, oh my goodness, like look at this deck. This deck is so fast. And other people tried playing it and they couldn't win with it.
Sucked.
Yeah, they basically sucked with it. And not because it was a bad deck, because Lychee is just a ridiculously good player. It shows that if you know your deck, if you put the time and the effort into it, you can win. And that's what Digimon is.
And then he was also the one with the promo Black War Greymon deck at the first Nats top 16.
Yeah,
I think it was, right?
Promo Black War Grey. That was last year's Nats, just so you guys know.
He's always got something ridiculous cooking.
Yeah, Lychee. Yeah, I heard somebody made the comment. I can't remember who it was. Maybe I was watching like a YouTube video, or I read on. No, I think it was. I was watching The Boys. That's Max DePera's podcast, which is a good podcast. If you guys want other podcasts to check out, you can definitely check that one out. They have Tyler from GFG, Joe Dobie, TPG, Max DePera, and one other person that I'm forgetting, so I'm sorry. But they were like, they saw Lychee and Dan Vang on a team for Team Wars at Nationals, and they made the comment, they were like, yo, who the hell let these two on a team? we can't let these two be on a team. It's just too menacing. I was cracking up. I was like, it's just true. I mean, Lychee alone is a menace, but then Lychee and Dan Vang, they were like, I'm sorry to the third person, I don't remember who you were, not because you didn't matter, just because it's Lychee and Dan Vang. Like, just what do you do against that?
Yeah, he's also like always been crazy. I think a few months ago when like the other regional circuit was going around, he topped. I think he took second place with an Alphamon then too.
It was second place with Alphamon.
Yep.
And then he took.
Nerfed
I think he took
Alphamon.
I think he was one of the first, not one of the first, but he was like one of the few people when Dorbeck first came out for EX3. He was taking the Ultimate Cups and stuff. Like he's always on some wild, like, you know, pioneer. Like that dude just makes decks popular, you know.
Yeah, he's one of those players in the TCG, and it's always nice to have these kind of players who are able to just break the walls down of conventional decks and also just show that not only can unconventional decks win, but nerfed decks can win, because the Alphamon dubs that he was taking it with nerfed Alphamon. All right, let's get that straight.
Yo, the funny part, he was like taking people's souls with that deck too. Like it wasn't like it was close to once. He was like smacking him 2-0 to some of the people.
His comment, he was like, yeah, I just wanted to show people that Alphamon can still win. He said all that, never played Alphamon again. He went back to playing like Dorbeck and stuff. He was like, I proved my point, you know?
I mean, that's like we've been saying that for a while though. Like Crossheart, like when Crossheart got hit, I never thought that Crossheart was a bad deck still. Mm-hmm. It's just people didn't want to take the time to play Crossheart because the like helmet got taken off of them. Yes. They like were no longer in their safe zone, like in their bubble. They're like, oh,
their meta bubble.
I can't like cross for 4 times in the same exact turn now. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, that's just like. But then we saw that same deck win a Nationals. Mm-hmm. Like because was Latin America?
Latin America, yes.
Because they didn't get to play with BT11. So BT10 nerfed Crossheart 1. Like, that's nuts. People just don't take the time to play these decks once they get hit.
Well, it's because we're all meta sheep in America. Like, well, no, it really isn't just America, because you don't see the same.
Yeah, America.
You don't see the same type of stuff in any of the other regions. Like they're the ones to give these decks chances. Even like Galactimon from EU topping.
I'd say that Japan's pretty brutal too, though.
Japan is meta. Japan is pish posh though.
It's hard. Japan meta is harder than the rest of the world because it's high rules, so they don't really get to play like you can't play like, I don't know. I feel like you got to stick with meta more in Japan than than same as America. Like in the USA, we are like meta sheep for sure, but in Japan, it's like it can be such a high roll meta there.
Well, I mean, their entire competitive scene is different.
You gotta stick with OTK decks and like the most aggro deck that's out in the format usually.
Yeah, that's a thing in every
unless
card
something
game.
that's like controls that's so strong.
Because in card fight,
but it's different with Japan because of their best of one.
No, I mean like in Japan, like every card game, like card fight, for example, some of the best decks are the decks that can just beat you down with no chance for recovery.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember when a lot of Japanese players like were taking breaks in the game and quitting because like OTK meta and stuff like that. And everyone in the US was afraid that like, oh, like when it comes here, it's going to be horrible and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, like some people didn't like OTK formats and like don't like OTK decks. But let me remind you, at least we get 3 games, right? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine sitting down at a table and just getting high rolled every single game at a locals? You can do nothing,
you got 40
bro.
minutes.
You had your Digi-Egg and by turn 3, you're just like, wait, I lost?
Mm-hmm. Like that's brutal. That sucks.
Yeah, that's ass. Anyways, the rest of the Ultimate Cup. So like I said earlier, Red Dorbic, which isn't Red Dorbic. It is, but it isn't. Let's get that straight, okay? That was Black War Gray featuring Dorbic. Because I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get my ass kicked by Black War Gray. And then he dropped Dorbic only in game 2 to Ragna me. And I was like, okay.
Did not see that one coming.
Did not see that coming, okay? So it may be Red Dorbic, but it is Black War Gray Dorbic. And that deck won. Yellow Hybrid took second. I will still sit here and tell you that I think Yellow Hybrid is trash. I don't like this Yellow Hybrid list. I just don't like the idea of it. It's not the Yellow Hybrid that I know, but it got second place. So hey, I'm wrong. Third place, Mario from Mario's Gaming World with Grandis. So shout out to him. I always read in the comments about how people say Mario is washed and Mario's not a good player and this, that, the other. And Mario was like, okay. He came here and he got third place with Grandis, losing only also to first place, Black War Gray Dorbic.
Hey, I nerfed
Grandis. Well, if y'all haven't seen his deck profile on Grandis, go check it out. He's a madman. I don't know what took fourth place, but fifth place, as I said, was Lychee with Alpha. The rest of everything.
Oh, I think it's a Hydro Bloom. It has to be a Hydro Bloom because there's like 5 of them.
Oh yeah, so probably that. The rest doesn't matter. It's basically All Force, more Dorbic, Black War Gray, and Bloom. There was 3 Black War Gray lists.
I just know what the 9th place was, which is a Hydro Bloom because that was my spot. But
the 3 Black War Gray topping list.
Coulda, woulda, buddy.
That's a fact.
3 Black War Gray lists show that Black War Gray can win, and I think we're going to see this deck win after April 1st. Speaking of April 1st,
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day, yo! I swear, if April 1st comes, and Bandai says April Fools, nobody gets mulligans.
It's not.
I'm gonna end this podcast. Y'all will never hear from me again, bro.
You see what Varni's shirt says? That's what this podcast about to turn into.
Hey,
yo. So April 1st, we are officially getting mulligans into the entirety of the Digimon card game, both Japanese meta as well as English meta. And it is not this
later than ours.
Oh yeah, aren't they getting on April 1st as well? Or are they?
No,
it's May.
No, they're getting it in May 1st.
Oh, okay. So for some reason they're getting it in May. I thought it was April.
That's so weird. Why are they getting it later than us?
I don't know that.
Because they probably were like, you know what, we're tired of these English people bitching about mulligans.
You know what? That's fair. I'll give them that. It's not this piss poor iteration of mulligans that we've had at the Ultimate Cup. So it begs the question, right? If they were, you don't just make this change and like not have been thinking about it beforehand, right? So they gave us like this.
That's what the Ultimate Cups were. They were just testing us, man.
But we've had these Ultimate Cups since last year with the same mulligan rule. Sure. And then they come out and they're like, okay, here's an entirely different mulligan rule, which I'm all for. Okay, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's funny as shit that we had this piss poor mulligan rule for Ultimate Cups, and then they came and they gave us the good mulligan rule for the actual game.
I don't think that it. I mean, I know that we obviously have mulligan rule from Ultimate Cups, but I think it was more so the success of One Piece, because One Piece has a similar mulligan, right, where you shuffle back your hand if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Does Dragon Ball has a mulligan, but what's their mulligan?
No, but it's not. You're not shuffling your back of your hand. It's isn't it? No. You just put it into the bottom 5 and then you draw on 5.
No, One Piece is draw your 5.
No, I'm talking about Digimon. I don't care about One Piece.
No, we are talking about One Piece.
And Digimon, you shuffle.
No, I'm talking about you shuffle the first time. You look at your first 5 hands, then you put it to the bottom and you take you for the next 5.
Yeah, that's the piss poor Ultimate Cup mulligan.
Yeah, the new mulligan.
That's not what it is now.
No, you shuffle now, bro.
So the new mulligan.
I didn't know that.
The new mulligan, for those of you who don't know, you draw 5 cards. I didn't say set out security. You draw 5 cards after you shuffle. You look at it. If you don't like it, you put it back. You shuffle your deck. You draw your 5 new cards, and then you set your 5 security. That is the same thing as One Piece. One Piece is a game similar to Digimon in a way where you don't have security, you have your life. You draw your 5 cards to hand. If you don't like your hand, you put the whole thing back, you shuffle it, then you draw your 5 new cards, and then you set your life. Dragon Ball is an extremely busted mulligan. It is draw your 6 cards or however many you draw. You put selectively back the cards.
Don't you play? What do you mean how many you draw?
I haven't played in a minute. I forget if it's 5 or 6.
Okay.
You put back the select cards that you don't want in your hand. You shuffle your deck. You draw up to the amount that you're supposed to have, and then you set your life.
You get to choose?
Yes.
That's messed up.
That is Dragon Ball mulligan.
That makes side note. That makes Darian's question more of a valid question. I thought the whole time was just you put your top 5 and you put them, Ultimate Cup rules.
No, that's what I'm.
Are you sure we don't cut after?
I don't know. So
you
in other
card after, yes,
you can. Okay, because in other card games, typically you don't cut once the deck's been shuffled once.
No,
so
like if you shuffle, you don't usually cut.
No, it's basically
give apologies to Darian.
Well, because the mother. Sorry guys. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just popped out here. No, because Darian asked. He was like, "Can you?" No context. Just can you cut your opponent's deck after they mulligan? And I'm like, why would you? We weren't talking about the mulligan, the new one. So I was just like, why would you cut your opponent's deck after your mulligan? There was
because he was talking about the rules.
There was no context about that. He was
talking about the new rules.
It just came out of nowhere. I looked at it and I was like, why are you asking this? Like, we're not playing with new mulligans.
Based on the new rules, though.
Okay.
Because he saw the new rules and asked that.
Well, he should have clarified that, Darian. Yes, I'm calling you out, Darian. I was like, why are you asking me this? But yeah, it is so much better. Oh yeah, so anytime you shuffle your deck, you always get to cut afterwards, because it's the same thing as like how the interactions go at the beginning of the match is you shuffle your deck, you give it to your opponent to cut. You are allowed to take your deck back and shuffle. No, your opponent can take your deck and shuffle it. If they shuffle it, you can shuffle your deck again, then give it to them for like the final cut. So basically, like anytime we've never had this kind of interaction before because we don't have shuffling in Digimon outside of the beginning of the game. But anytime you would shuffle the deck, you always give it to your opponent to cut. And they do have the choice to cut. If they do not let you, judge call. Let judge decide. So.
And I think, same thing usually, like, obviously, so I guess it would reply like when you shuffle security, like you should always let your opponent cut if you.
Yes, exactly. Anything that interacts, forget about trash because trash doesn't matter, but security, your opponent does have the ability to cut your security before you place it back, which you should always do. Never trust your opponents, because the yellow hybrid player I played against, I did not like the way that they were doing it. This was so annoying. I've never cut anybody's security in this game before. All right, I'll say that. They took their security, right? They have 4 cards in their security, right? These 4 cards. This is what they did. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then they went like this. They're like, would you like to cut my security? Yes, bitch, I would. What the hell kind of shuffle is that? Put the top 2 to the bottom. I was like, that's whack as shit. When I shuffle my security, I take it and I do it like this. Like, I'm trying to get as random as I can get, so it doesn't look like I'm cheating. This mother out here was like,
yeah, usually I just like, I'll just take it.
Two.
I'll just take it. I'd usually just do a nice little.
Obviously,
I don't look at my hand when I'm doing it, but just like showing on camera, like, yeah, this is how I do it. Just,
bro.
Same.
That shit was whack.
If I'm in a tournament, like how do you want it? You want it like this? All right, there you go.
Yeah, bro. I was so bamboozled. I was like, I can see why people cut security now, because that's sketch.
Well, I don't trust anyone, especially in a webcam tournament, bro. People cheat so much, and people are just scummy, bro. I know people in real life who cheat at card games. It's so weird. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, always you gotta make people cut.
So yes,
especially in a tournament like that. Like if it's locals, I don't really care. But if it's like an actual tournament, come on, man.
I will say, having me do some sort of wonky cut your deck in thirds and then put your top 7 to the bottom.
That's also so annoying. But yeah, if it's a webcam,
those are so annoying.
But if it's a webcam tournament, bro, I almost don't like. It's just like, all right, yeah, like I get it because people cheat so bad, bro.
I get it too. I always make it a point when I'm shuffling. You see my hand on camera. You see me. You do this. I do this 7 to 10 times over. Sometimes I'll get like blah 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 with it. Sometimes I'll cut my own shit. And for you to come here and say thirds and then top 7 to the bottom or bottom 10 to the top just has me sitting there like. But you know, I get it.
I get it though, because it's hard, because in like you can't really tell like in webcam, like, you know, your face isn't usually in the webcam, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't tell how someone is looking at the cards that they're shuffling either. You know, like
that's I could be all like this.
You know, like you could be like literally like looking at your deck while it's being shuffled. Like that's why in webcam tournaments, I think it's fair to make your opponent cut in whatever weird freaking way you want.
That's a fair point.
Because like I don't trust anybody, bro.
Damn, bro.
And if I'm playing competitively, like I don't want to get cheated. Like I don't want to get screwed over.
You putting thoughts into my head. The next tournament, I'm about to be like this.
Judge.
It's okay. I'm normally I don't normally stream my shit, but I would never do that. I'm not that scummy a player. Mulligans, bro. So Dan, now that you've heard like what the actual mulligan rule is, does that change how you feel about it?
No, like it's like I'm okay with it. I just thought it was you just look at the top 5 and put, I think that's better in my opinion than this mulligan. But like it's alright. I mean, you get a chance to reset. So I'm cool with it.
So the reason that like I like this mulligan is because
it's a more fair way, because you could brick again. There's a chance to brick still.
That happened to me today. I was playtesting with Masty. I looked at my hand. I was like, like this is a good, like I could play this hand. I was like, but I could get a better hand. And then I mulliganed it, and then the hand I drew was like 2 Chaos Degrade, a Mastodon, and like a Gatomon. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm playing this.
Oh no. I like this mulligan.
With that type of mulligan, there's a better chance of you still bricking at times, whatever. Like
for sure.
I legit thought it was like, look at the top 5, then you put it on the bottom and you keep going, because I know how Digimon is with like the shuffling. Yeah. So like I didn't like look at the rule set. I did look at the rule set. I just missed that whole section.
It's a little. Well, you're not the only person who was confused on it. Like, there was.
No, I wasn't like I was confused. I was like, okay, cool, that's what it is. So
you were confused because you didn't know what it was. You were confused.
I think. Not confused because I thought it was what it was, because, and then you tell me.
Sorry, I forgot so card players can't read. Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh players, bro, perfectly. And that's exactly where Dan's from. So,
yeah, right. Unlike those other Yu-Gi-Oh players who are complaining about, counter
hand traps,
but
it's not even a hand trap.
It's not, but we'll talk about that.
We'll get to it. But yeah, no, I think it's fine. I don't think it's that. People who are like complaining about it are like being ridiculous. Well, I guess we'll get into it now. I think they are not willing to adapt to like new rules. I think they're not willing to try new things. They're not willing to. I feel like these people who are like complaining about like the counters that we're gonna get into, the blast evolutions, overflow, new mulligan rule set, they're like they think like it's BT1 format, like it has to be BT1. Not like the game is supposed to advance because we can't stay in one state. If we stay in one state, we're never gonna grow as a game. So like, why would you not grow the game? So like when they say they added mulligans, first people complained about there's no mulligans, right? We had people quit because there's no mulligans. We've had our old community people who quit. I'm not gonna name drop, but we know who they are. I just think they wasn't good, but that's neither here nor there. And
never can go a podcast without it, can you, Dan?
And so they're complaining about we don't have a mulligan, we need mulligans, this game sucks without it, this and that other. So now, guess what happened? Bandai is like, hey guys, we're gonna give you a mulligan, we're gonna change how it works than the OT Cup version, which is probably arguably better. And they're still complaining about it, be saying, oh, this is so stupid. Now OTK decks are better, this and other. Bro, what?
Bro, I gotta say though, like, even worse.
It ain't about the OTK decks.
Even worse than all that, bro, is the people like with the mulligans and the counters that we'll get to talk about. I've been seeing so many posts of people saying like, oh, this game is getting more complicated. It's getting too much like Magic. It's getting so complicated. Oh my, I gotta say, bro, Magic is not a complicated game. If you knew how to play Magic 20 years ago when it first came out, you could probably play Magic today. There's a few mechanics, but it's really at the whole almost the same game. I'm not even joking. A few things have changed here and there. It's not a complicated game, so I don't know why you think that. Also,
Yu-Gi-Oh is a complicated game.
I was gonna say Yu-Gi-Oh is a very complicated game. The interactions, I mean, when I used to play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, I almost couldn't go like every other match. I had to look up card rulings. That's how complicated Yu-Gi-Oh could be. I mean, it was really it's like an annoying game.
The random periods,
like literally punctuation in Yu-Gi-Oh was so frustrating.
It was so clear, yeah. Exactly.
Like, but so, the other thing though is like, if you think that like a complicated card game. Like, if this is a complicated card game and it's ruining it for you, maybe card games aren't your hobby. I don't know how else to say it, but like, it's not like adding a new mechanic to a card game shouldn't make you frustrated. That like it shouldn't, like it's not like Digimon's one of those games, right? Shout out to the professor on like the Magic side, but like reading the card explains the card. Right? Like Digimon's pretty good about that. I can only think of really one deck that is like super confusing, and it's because it got mistranslated badly, and it's Examon. Right? Like that's like one of the only decks where like it's, if you don't really know the rulings on it, it's confusing. The rest of the card game is very self-explanatory, I feel like. And like with the few occasional judge calls and like weird stuff, that's it. Like it's not anything like other card games. I think it's simple, and again, adding a new mechanic to a game does not, like, it's not the end of the world. Adding a mulligan to a game should not make you think that this is a horrible game now. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if anything, you should be happy. I for one know, like, if you're playing this game, how frustrating is it to just brick? Right? You just brick so bad on your opening hand. How like frustrating is that to happen? Okay. Even when I play and I play against someone who's bricked, that's not even fun for me. I'm not getting enjoyment out of my opponent not being able to play with me or interact with me. If I wanted to do that, I would just play decks that require no interaction. But that's not fun. I don't personally want to sit across from my table, like at tables from someone, them not even be able to do anything except pass me 7 memory or something turn 1 because or like whatever, because they have nothing else to do, and then that just automatically almost guarantees me a win.
But because, Mike, the cool thing about Digimon is the fact that you always have a play that you can make, even if it means giving your opponent a ton of memory.
Bro, I'll be honest, I've had hands where I actually can't make a play. Like if you get choked to 1 and your hand is megas, what are you doing?
I've had it happen.
No, I mean,
what are you doing?
That point is still valid in the sense, because like, what if they can't like, you know, do anything with that metal Greymon? Your next turn, you go into like a black or Greymon, you're setting up for a good turn. But that's neither here nor there. Mulligans is good.
No. I mean, I agree too. Like if you give me 7 memory and I can't get rid of that, and then you kill me, I deserved that. To be
right.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, but in the locals, I bricked and I still won just because they didn't do anything with my Greymon. So what did I do? Gave me 2, 3 memory. I Grey X, no Greymon X, Black or Greymon, GG.
Yep. Yeah, but that's because you had the setup in your hand. There are just some hands you can't even do that with. Like imagine Mike with like Chaos Mode, Mastemon, Lady Devimon, so it's another purple source, Chaos the Great, and like Flame House Scythe.
No, I do understand that. I 100% do understand that. I'm just
it's just like
you still can play. But
no, I mean I agree. I've never had a hand that was like completely unplayable. You know, like that's never actually happened to me. You know, like I've never had a hand where I was like, oh, I actually can't play the game. I mean, I could see it happening though. I mean, I've played some really janky shit in my life. Okay, I've played some janky stuff. Okay, I mean, I was playing like 4-color Royal Knight Megazoo. Okay, like some jank. Like I've been there.
But then in those type of decks, you don't expect to make any plays. You get to make a play, and you're like, oh my goodness, I made a play.
Yeah, of course. So like, but I don't think it's a bad thing. And like I said, I just think it levels the playing field. And I don't think that it doesn't make the broken decks more broken. They're still going to be good no matter what. If you get high rolled by a good deck, you just got like that's the freaking game, man. You're probably going to get high rolled by it regardless. Think of how many,
especially in that type of mulligan, right? No, you good. Especially in that type of mulligan, you're not guaranteed still to have a perfect hand that you want.
Exactly.
If you, because of the reshuffling and stuff, but like, I think to me, like on your point before, like, I want to play against someone who doesn't brick to show I'm still better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have that good back and forth. It's like, all right, cool. Let's see who's the actual. I think this mulligan makes it more skillful in the sense of now that you both have that capability of mulligan, you both have the better chance of having a good starting hand. That means now skill
even more skilled, right?
In the sense of you're not bricking, you're not just hard playing something and then blah 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 and hope for the best, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're both having good plays. You both being able to play the game. Now it shows, okay, player A versus player B, they both can do things, and it's more skillful in my opinion. I'm just repeating myself, I noticed. But like the gist of it is like, you know,
I begin on the same way though.
Let me just say, you know this, Dan, because you've watched all the games that I streamed. Can you imagine how much better I would have performed with Alphamon with this type of mulligan?
Oh, 100%.
My Alphamon security was guaranteed to have it was guaranteed to have 2 rookies and a champion in that security. It was always Dorumon, BT7 Dorumon, and either the BT9 Dorumon or Ryutamon. Guaranteed. If I could have that as my opening hand, and then my opening hand as my security, I would have been so golden so many times because I don't know what it is. It's so weird. I have the worst of luck when it comes to this game and shit being in security. Like, good, Mike?
No, I was just saying I'm the same way. But I also wanted to add, like, people, I don't know why, but for some reasons, like, the people that are upset about it think that these people are just going to be mulliganing every single turn.
Yo, like,
I don't need the mulligan every single turn, bro. I'm probably keeping my hand 9 times out of 10. If my decks are that bad that I need the mulligan every single game, I need to work on my deck building skills.
Well, here's the biggest thing, right? Exactly. It's the fact that instead of setting your security first, you're drawing your cards first.
So much nicer.
It is so much nicer because, like, how many times have you had a one of end up in security? How many times, you run?
And there's a dead card. There's not like an option or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like my one of Reflegiamon or my one of Nidhogg end up in security. Boom, my one of is gone. Like, I'm drawing 5. If you look at the probability and statistics of this shit, you have a deck of 50 cards. You're drawing your 5 cards, 5 out of your 50 card deck. That's a much better chance than 5 out of a 45 card deck to draw into the cards that you actually need to play the game. That alone, like, forget about the fact that you're gonna be able to throw.
Dan just doing math in his head right there for a sec, bro.
I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but
I saw the engineers start.
Okay, all right, sorry. I didn't explain it well enough, but the fact is, being able to have the chance to pull any card from your deck into your hand, rather than taking 5 random cards out your deck to then pull 5 more random cards into your hand, is what I'm trying to say. Because I know for me, I have such a better chance to see what I need. Like Axamon, for example. I'm not gonna have 2 Axamon in security. Well, I'm gonna have 2 Axamon in security because it's me. But the amount of the chances that I have to see 2 Axamon in security compared to seeing 2 Axamon in my hand. And even with that being said, if I see 2 Axamon in my hand, I don't have to worry about mulliganing because now I'm like, I don't necessarily want to see 2 Axamon right now because I have, Wingdramon, Slayer, and Wingdramon. That I don't need to play this hand. Let me mulligan this because I can shuffle this up, draw my new hand, and then set my security. Like, it's just so much more playable now.
Mm-hmm. I also like 100%.
It. And then like Machinedramon too, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I my starting 5, I got Machinedramon plus Analog Man, I'm in not the greatest hand. I probably may not mulligan just because I know I may not see Analog Man again. Just, my thought process, especially the same thing with the Ulti Cup. But like now, maybe
if the hand isn't necessarily playable, now, you don't mind mulliganing.
I gotta say though, Analog Man turn 1, more consistent. It's never a bad play.
It's not. As long as you got ultimates to trash, you're good.
Never a bad play.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like in Ulti Cup format, I was way more hesitant than that because I'm just not guaranteed anything. Now I might, question him like, okay, this hand is playable, but it's not the greatest. Maybe I could try to get another one just because the nature of the type of deck it is. Mm-hmm. So like now you're like, it's just more. It adds more like again. I think it adds more thoughtfulness.
Wow, what a mouthful!
I can't speak right now. Yeah, right. But like it adds. I think it adds to it. It doesn't take away from the game. That's my point. I'm trying to say. Like,
so what it boils down to, what we're trying to say is, for just straight up, if you had a skill issue with Digimon before, you're about to have a major skill issue with Digimon.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna expose some people.
Because Digimon, like, it's not card fight Vanguard. I was actually talking about this in the Discord with one of our members over the weekend. Lepidus.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Shout out to him. He was he popped in while I was playing some webcam games with my boy Austin. Great, nice dude.
Yeah, so Lepidus, he posted his Beelzemon deck profile that he's been tearing up locals with. And he said something which I caught on as a fellow former Vanguard player. And we started talking about Vanguard. And the one thing we agreed on that we disliked about Vanguard was how luck-based that game is. Like, if y'all think Digimon is luck-based, Vanguard is disgustingly horrible with it. Digimon is luck-based, which is cool, but it's also skill-based. And with this mulligan rule in effect now, it's like the skill gap goes from like here to like here, because there's so much, like Dan said, there's so much opportunities to actually play the game that you can't use, oh well, I bricked as an excuse as to why you didn't win the game.
Yeah. I mean, also now too, though, like it kind of adds a layer to it on the skill. What, people need to know when to actually mulligan. Mm-hmm. So like I played Magic for a really long time, and a lot of people's issues was knowing when to mulligan. Because in Magic, when you mulligan, there's a drawback. Like you got to get rid of a card when you mulligan, right? So like it added that layer of like, can I actually play this hand out, or do I need to redraw? That's like a big thing. Like, can I play from this, or do I need to risk it? And in Digimon, same thing. If you think you can play a hand out, it's probably better than risking the redraw.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
what you redraw really might not be good for you. I mean, like I was playtesting today, so I was fucking around, but I had a perfectly fine hand, and I was like, I wonder if I get a better one. Like you're gonna have people that like are gonna probably have hands that are playable, and they're gonna risk it and screw themselves over.
Bro, 100%. It really comes down to like, it's mulliganing, like, right? You open Agu X and no other rookie. Some people would be like, I don't like Agu X as my starting rookie, so I'm going to mulligan this, and I'm going to try to get the promo Agumon. And they're going to mulligan, and they're not going to see promo Agumon. Matter of fact, they're not going to see any rookie. Exactly.
And they're going to brick harder.
And it's going to be hilarious.
Yep.
And that's the risk reward of mulliganing. Like, people say there's no drawback to it. Yes, there is. The skill gap. It's the skill gap of knowing when to mulligan, for sure. It's the same thing in One Piece. Same thing in basically every game except every game that has a mulligan, except for the games that have selective mulligans. Games that have selective mulligans encourage you to mulligan. So
yeah, I don't know.
And Yu-Gi-Oh has none.
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh has none.
No mulligan.
Yu-Gi-Oh is.
I put a lot of monarchs in Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, there ain't no mulligan, bro. Trust me, I know. There ain't nothing. Yeah, I think I don't really, Dragon Ball having a main format selective mulligan is crazy. The only mulligan that I've ever had that was selective when I played like Commander, like I played a lot of casual Commander, and that it was called the partial Paris, and you could like select what you wanted to put back and then draw like one less still. That was busted, but it was a casual format. It was like 100 card singleton, so it's like way different.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, quick note. As I'm talking about Lepidus, I posted my Ultimate Cup Bloom profile in our Discord. For the time being, since we're not doing much in way of like deck profiles on YouTube, if you guys want to check out the deck profile, check out the Discord. I'm going to encourage our fellow member Dan to post his Machine Dramon deck profile and write up in the Discord so that y'all can pop in and see. Yeah, so you can see 37th place Machine Dramon.
When we post deck profiles in the Discord, how about we use the photo editor and rotate the photos so that I don't have to break my neck to look at it?
Oh, sorry, I uploaded that. I didn't even realize that. Can you do that in Discord?
No, I don't think you can do that in Discord.
Oh, I just took that photo straight off my phone. My bad.
I just use my phone and edit it, you monster.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
I gotta come grab my one of, not my one of. I need to grab my Altar Lucimon from you so I can post my beautiful completed deck for you.
I have a Pikmons for you.
You have Pikmons for me?
Yeah, foil Pikmons.
Where'd you get foil Pikmons from?
From my 3rd place winnings.
Yeah, I'll take.
Yeah, I got some again too.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I have one last point.
Damn, Ryan got the Greymon.
The one you were trying hard for all these weeks.
What's your last point about mulligans?
Yeah, so there's one last point I have to make about mulligans, and this is because it's funny. It's so funny. It's just 2 points. Number 1.
Okay. 3 points.
3 points maybe. So Tay Frey plays on Twitter. He posted, if you are the admin of a Facebook group and you actively hate the game,
you're gonna get us canceled.
I know, right? You actively hate the game in which you are said admin for. You maybe should hand the group ownership over to someone else. And I was cracking up. I will say admin's defense, he said it was because he heard other people say that. So his take was essentially that mulligans don't fix the meta. Mike, did you want mulligans to fix the meta? Is that what you wanted mulligans for?
No, I just wanted to be able to play the game with my friends.
Dan, did you want mulligans to fix the meta? Is that what you wanted mulligans for?
Nope.
I wanted to be able to play decks that are
more consistent,
typically inconsistent, and play them more consistently, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Admin said that in response to hearing people talk about mulligans are going to fix the meta.
Nope.
I will say I have not read that. I didn't read that anywhere, but I don't read all the posts in that Facebook group 24/7 all the time.
Shit,
so
sometimes I don't even know how to read.
Obviously. But mulligans are not meant to fix the meta. They're just meant to make it playable. And with that being said, the one complaint that I have heard about mulligans is that they are bad, and that what TOs should do is they should, get this, they should allow everybody to draw their 5 cards, look at it, decide to mulligan, draw their new 5, set their security out, and then start the match timer. Once everybody is set and everybody has mulliganed or decided not to.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's a valid point. I can see why they said it.
Didn't I say in chat, I was like, the only downside here is it's going to cause people who don't know how to play their decks to go into time even more now.
Yes. So the point is that, like, because of the interaction of the shuffling, you're going to make, it's going to force you to blah, 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 this, that, the other. It kind of enters the same realm as why Dragon Ball and One Piece are currently best of one, because One Piece games legitimately can be as little as like 15 minutes, but they can also take as long as the entire 50 minutes. Not necessarily because of the mulligan, but sure, it does add maybe like 2 minutes of, shuffling, cutting your opponent's stuff and setting up board.
Are you kidding me? 2 minutes? I don't know what kind of slow play people y'all be playing with. If it takes you 2 minutes to shuffle your deck and set a board out, I'm calling a judge on your ass.
Well, I'm talking about both players inclusive. Like, not one player, just like,
okay.
You
so
shuffle,
both
they
of us
shuffle.
Both of us take a minute. All right.
And you cut, you set up board and everything, like 2 minutes. But yeah, I agree.
If someone takes 2 minutes to shuffle,
let's put it this way. I'm gonna set my security out.
How are you stacking your deck if you're taking 2 minutes to shuffle, bro?
I think it would take me maybe
that's a fact.
45 seconds.
A lot of my games in the Ultimate Cup took 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and we were waiting for an extra minute to start the match. So if you start promptly, you start a couple minutes prior to it with at least a shuffle, then
yeah, you should always have your shit shuffled.
Clock starts at 105. If the time says 105 and you're on table by 1 o'clock, you should be already shuffling your deck.
Agreed. Have that shit shuffled. Have your hand set out.
Comes and you give your opponent your cut, boom, 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 in person at least, and then you look at your 5, decide to mulligan or not, shuffle it up, give it right back. It shouldn't take more than 2 minutes max. And then that's even prior to your time starting. So if you get to the table at 1 o'clock, you got a whole 5 minutes to do all that.
Varni, you're a judge. What's the ruling on when people, what is it called, pile shuffling? Right? You can only do that once per match, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's really generally accepted. I'd have to read up on that part.
No, you're allowed. I think you're allowed to power shuffle. That's not.
I don't know what the rules on shuffling are.
I don't know if I thought you were only allowed to do it once per match, just because it takes so long.
It's generally accepted that you only pile shuffle once per match. I used to pile shuffle in between my matches back when I was a pile shuffler. I was never slow with it though. No, I was not. I was like this, right? I was like blop 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 shuffle done. Cut.
Well, I usually in tournament, I like when people pile shuffle in front of me just so I can count that they have 50 cards.
That's another reason I used to do it, because sometimes the one time I dropped the card, bro, I was at 49.
Yeah, we were at the I think we were playing together. I think that was during our team match.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I don't do it anymore because I don't like pile shuffling anymore. But it's generally accepted that you only pile shuffle at the beginning of the match and then you're done. And you can judge call. Which is another point. And you guys really don't be afraid to judge call people.
Bro, especially for slow play. You don't understand how frustrating it is To get a tie when you should have had a W. That's annoying.
Yes, agreed. If you
experienced it this weekend.
If your opponent is doing this and they're shuffling and it doesn't look like they're making any effort to do anything, meanwhile, you're just like this because you already have your cards in hand and you're like, call the judge. They're slow playing. Don't be afraid to, or at least say, hey, can you hurry it up or I'm going to call a judge. Use that to your advantage.
The ones that kill me, that be like, they look at their hand. This happened to me. Like, I'm glad I won as fast as I did because the dude was like, he would look at his 5 cards. I wish I had cards on me right now to prove my point. But like, he would look at his 5, look at my board, go like this. Then they do, like the TCG player thing now to go.
or this.
It's not that serious. You're playing a red deck. You're playing a red deck. What do you have to think about? Like, I know I play red decks. Like, it's not that hard. And I'm just like, bro. And then he would like do the one play. He would, Digivolve the one time. Then he got to think about it again. I'm just like, bro, this man is not serious right now. Like, you need to like get the move on. Like I knew I was gonna win, and he was still like thinking about how to not lose. I'm just like, bro, you're not. I already calculated the math. You ain't doing nothing that could change the outcome of this game.
Let's put it this way.
You can't do anything about attacking that heavy with a machine Digimon in my hand. You can't do anything about it.
Let's put it this way. If your opponent is generally taking, and this is very on the heavy end, if they're taking more than 30 seconds per action, call a judge, or at least tell them, hey, hurry up. And if they continue, call a judge. It shouldn't take more than 30 seconds, but that's the very generous amount to give time to think and make a play. But generally, it should only be taking you like 10 to 15 seconds to make each one of your actions.
Dan will probably get this. You might not, Varni, but it reminds me of like when people used to slow play like crazy in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then like Gaga Cowboy for 500 to win the match.
Oh my God.
How frustrating was that?
So back then, overtime rules was different for Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically like you have to, I think it was 3 turns, and then on your final turn, whoever has the most light points wins. So people will purposely like get to a point where, let's say y'all even, let's say it's 4,000. When whoever had that final play, they will slow play it out just to get to that final play and just go, summon low 4, special summon low 4, go to Cowboy, Gaga Cowboy for game, burn 500, GG, and turn. Bro. Legit, that's all it was.
So
it's disgusting.
So fucking
That's some security control tactic shit.
But people are scumbags. I learned that firsthand that card game players are just not nice people from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be honest.
I mean,
that's why I don't trust nobody, bro. I don't trust anyone.
Well, we're about to see some Yu-Gi-Oh! Level play in Digimon. We've got some spice. All right, so.
Before we even continued, I'd like to say everyone's comparing it to like Ash Blossom or Hand Traps. It's not. It's not at all, bro. People are crazy.
So the first inkling.
Let's hear Varni talk about announce what it is first.
Basically, what we are getting come BT the starter decks that are coming out for Agumon and Gabumon and BT14. We are getting new mechanics called Overflow, Counter, and Ace cards. Ace cards are similar, for those of you who play Pokemon, they're similar to Rule Box Pokemon in that like they're considered the same Digimon. You can still Digivolve like Metal Gray X over Metal Gray Ace. It's just a way to show that these are different cards with this new mechanic and all this new fun stuff. So basically the general gist of it is that they're lower to play, easier to get out, but they have a major drawback for doing so. So some of the ones that we've seen, one of the biggest ones is Metal Garurumon, which is a purple level 6. It has the new counter mechanic, which activates from hand. So what the new counter mechanic is it is a step that comes after your opponent's when attackings and before your declaration of blocker. So if you look at the way the attack step works out in Digimon, your opponent declares attack, they activate their when attackings, you declare blocker, blah, 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 blah. right in between those two steps of when attacking and blockers where the counter step sits. So your opponent can activate their when attackings and delete your Digimon. You'll never even get the counter effect because there's no Digimon to activate it on. However, once they finish their when attackings, if you have a card with counter in hand, you can activate the counter on that card. And where this comes into play is with cards like Metal Gururumon, which is, it has Blast Evolution, which allows you to Digivolve for 0 on top of something that fulfills its Digivolution requirements. And then it has its when Digivolving. In Metal Gurumon's case, it is trash up to 3 cards from your hand to gain 1 memory for each card trashed. So you can think about it as a mini ice wall. Not a mini ice wall, it is effectively like a purple ice wall. So if your opponent swings at security, they're like, haha, I'm about to OTK you, bitch. You can just be like, haha, where Gururumon Digivolve, blast Digivolve into Metal Gururumon, trash 3 cards, gain 3 memory. If you trash a Nidhogg, you gain an extra memory, you know, stuff like that. Yep. And really helps turn the game in your favor. That also being said, Metal Gururumon costs something like 6 or 7 to hard drop.
6 to play.
Yeah, 6 to play. The drawback of these cards, because of how easy it is to get them out, they have the overflow mechanic. Overflow is basically when the card would be moved from anywhere other than the battle area to any other area in the game, you lose a certain amount of memory. That means if you have Metal Gururumon Ace on the field, if you delete it, you're gaining memory. If you Chaos Degrade it, gaining memory. Bounce it, gaining memory.
Well, you mean gaining for your opponent.
Sorry, yes. You as the player who played it, you are losing memory. It also means that like if you Digivolve that into an Omnimon and they use something like source stripping to get rid of those sources, you are still losing memory because it is it counts as an inherited effect in addition to your inherited. So it makes cards like Surai really powerful. Because for a card like Metal Gururumon that has Overflow 4, Surai cost 4. That's free. All right, like these cards. Or what about Sora and
like
Joe?
Cards like Gaia Force,
cards like Chaos Degrade, baby.
That costs 4.
So overflow is a really welcome mechanic to balance these cards out. The reason people are saying that they're similar to hand traps is because they activate from the hand and they trap your opponent
on your opponent's turn.
On your opponent's turn during their attacking step. Obviously, as Mike and Dan said, they're not hand traps. Why is that, guys?
It's more like if you've ever played Magic, like Flash from Magic. It lets you have interaction on the opponent's turn. But like a hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh is way different. But you could hand trap someone in Yu-Gi-Oh and literally end someone's entire life. Like if you hand trap someone in Yu-Gi-Oh, depending on the deck they're playing, the game might just be over for them. Yu-Gi-Oh is such a different game, bro.
If you Ash Blossom their one card that's the only searcher that's needed for them to combo off GG, they just
again, Yu-Gi-Oh is a way different game though. Yu-Gi-Oh is literally like the way Yu-Gi-Oh is played now is like, here's my board. If you don't break it, I win the game.
Yes.
Like it's so different. So different.
And the huge difference, like I don't understand why people think is like, unless they're like projecting the future, but we're not there yet. We're projecting what's now. What is now? Our counters is during the attack step. It's not even in comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh, you can play Ash Blossom any main phase. Technically, you can do a standby phase. If I'm not mistaken. Technically, you can do a main phase 1.
Stupid rulings.
Battle phase, I think you technically can. No, I don't think you do battle phase. Main phase 2, you could do it at any point, at any time where an effect that activates that you can use Ash Blossom to negate. You can use it basically because it's a quick effect. So that means you're allowed to do it whenever you feel like it. It's not in a specific step. Like I don't even know like Yu-Gi-Oh what cards are what Ash. Like they need requirements to happen. Like for example, Ash Blossom, you need your opponent to activate a card that searches or like bring something from the grave or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you can even Ash on your own turn, can't you? It's been a while, but you can Ash on your own turn. It's just I'm pretty sure
like Maxi
Ash Blossom is just like whenever a card effect is activated, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that includes searching, bringing some something from the grave, and I forget what the third one is. It's 3 effects, 3 total effects. But if one of those effects activate any time during the duel, you can just Ash Blossom. This ain't it. This is literally one step. So, which is between the attacking step and the defending step, and it's only that one small window. It ain't that serious. It's guys, like, it's good for counterbalancing the broken meta we're in when it comes to OTKs. Like, anyways, so like, for people who are like, oh, blah blah blah, Grandis is uninteractable. Hey, Grandis is not interactable because you can play something on your opponent's turn. You can Digivolve your Metal Guru, Aware Guru into a Metal Guru on Ace for free and stop their plays. You can go into, you could do, because there's also Warp Greymon on Ace.
Yeah, but I don't think that Warp Greymon on Ace is gonna do anything. That's just a blocker, right?
Yeah.
He going die still.
Saying for, you know,
11K blocker.
He gonna get murdered by that 18K grand.
Yeah, you still will. You still will, 100%. But it stops your other Digimon from potentially getting killed, and that might be, you know, what changes the game. You know, there's just so many things to it that you can just, you know, interact. You know, well, and against Melga, right? Let's say you had that, right? That's a good time to, you know, you drop that. They can't swing over a 11K blocker, so that may be that one defense that once they attack security, his effect is to unsuspend when you lose a security. So that means you're 2 blocking against Melga now. You know what I'm saying? That gives you that defense that you need, that interactability on your opponent's turn that it's kind of needed in this game because there's none, especially for certain decks. Grandis, for example, right? I keep saying Grandis, like that's the number one deck that people complain about the most when it comes to like interactability, right?
He's got 0, bro.
Melga for most part, right? Prime Alphamon was one of those decks too, right? What else? I guess Black War Greymon X, Prime.
Nah.
But a lot of those decks are considered, you know, you can't do anything about. Ancient Greymon back in the day, that was the most. That's the number one.
You don't do anything. Like, you don't do anything. You don't do anything. TK.
Because he even like Digivolves, and you literally just Digivolves Ancient Grey in security at times. Then you raise it, and then he's like, swing 5 checks, splits Omni game, GG. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives a more. It also gives the fact of like the mind games of
the mind games. Yes,
that's what I think people are like complaining about. Besides, also it's like, oh, now I gotta think if they got, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's good. Make sure they do think now. They instead of just committing your swing. Now they better think about that swing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of factors I think it adds to the game, which makes the game, I think, in my opinion, better, and it makes it more skillful again. A lot of people feel like the game lost the skillfulness.
You know what?
Especially after BT 6 or 7-ish. A lot of people say that, especially when BT 9 came out. So like, I think that changes the game a lot too in that sense.
I think they're all haters. I think the format we have now is like so good. Like I think that our current meta is like awesome. But also,
I agree.
I gotta say real quick, speaking of new cards, speaking of like the Ace Digital, like all the Ace cards, that new Magnet Angemon Ace is so good, bro.
4-cost drop.
Bro, 4-cost drop. Recover one.
If you have 5 or less
also
security.
minus DP.
Yeah, I think, what is it?
And you also minus
for
DP
1K for each card in your security stack, right?
Still not bad.
Yeah, it's a really good card.
I think straight up, I think the best one, low key, Zudomon.
It's good because it just bounces.
You move 2 sources and it's generic bounce. So you can bounce level 6, you can bounce level 7. If they have no sources, like that's pretty big, especially like if for people who want to build like a Zudomon deck.
Yeah, and that art is fire.
It is. But of course, that type of card will get abused in like a blue hybrid type of deck.
I mean, it was getting abused before. You don't remember Gabumon
getting abused in a Hexablow deck, baby.
That old Zudomon?
The Ikakumon?
Yeah, that is it was Ikakumon. Right? Yeah.
Boys, that's Hexablow support. What do you mean?
No, they were playing that in Gabumon.
No, but they did run. They ran Ikaku and the Zudomon.
I'm saying that Zudomon, bro. Hexablow support.
Yo,
Hexablow support.
I gotta say, I think, given the player base, I think once we get these Ace cards in English format, they're probably going to make a push to push this game to best of one format.
You think so? No shot.
Because
I doubt it.
Because they all like, you think about how they already complain that games are going to time and that the shuffling is going to make it go to time.
You think like the English fan base is gonna, or like Bandai is gonna try and push it?
No, the English fan base, because that's what happened with One Piece. One Piece started as a best of 3 game when super pre-releases were happening, and they were like, bro, like games are taking too long because of all the interactions. And so that's why it went to best of 1 for like locals. I think they do best of 3 for like the regionals. I don't know about like treasure cups and stuff, but yeah, there was a push from best of 3 to best of 1. The same thing with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball went from best of 3 to best of 1.
I will harm people if they try and make this game a best of 1. If anything, I don't care how long the matches take. If y'all are worried about going in time, give me more time to play my match. I'm not playing a best of 1 game, bro. That's ridiculous.
I agree.
These honestly, English idiots over here, bro, that are like, oh, like out of this game's like blah blah blah. I will play the sackiest one of deck ever if we're playing best of 1s, and I will ruin your life. I don't care. I will high roll you every single game until you quit.
Especially with Mulligan.
I don't really play decks like that. I will start. Don't make me do it.
I was just saying. I think it's something that people might be clamoring for come BT14.
No, I think that's so stupid.
But I don't think outside maybe the Mulligans, I don't think the counter's going to force the game to be that much slower. You don't take a step slower,
think that, maybe, but think about it. People are already sitting there playing Bloom, and they're like, so if they have to sit there thinking about this while thinking about if you have a counter in hand, they're like,
oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna call a judge on you, bro. I already told you. I think that everyone needs to start calling judges on time more often. I think that's people's problems. They want to play nice. Like, I don't care, bro. I got stuff I got to do. I'm already in this tournament for 8 hours. I'm not going to time with you. Leave me alone.
I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you. Bro. I need to be like that.
People need to start, like, I don't know you. I don't care. And if I do know you, I'm yelling at you to hurry up with your turn. So either hurry up with your turn or I'm calling a judge. I don't care.
I agree with you. That's a good point.
Like, I'm an adult, bro. I got stuff I got to do. Maybe I want to use the bathroom in between rounds. I don't have time to
that's go to fair ass point.
And then when I'm in turn with you, it's not like you're going to speed up anyways, bro. You're going to take 45 minutes to go 3 turns with me.
For real.
I'm not doing it. Leave me alone. Get out of my face.
Bro, do you know how many times, Mike, we had to wait for so long for like overtimes to finish for like these OT cards, especially the week prior. I waited, these overtime rules were probably going like 20 minutes at times. I swear to God.
It's ridiculous, bro.
And it says 3 turns or 5 minutes. Bro, end it. Why y'all still playing?
Yeah, I hate that. Stop. They came in and they interrupted like my match. We were like, yeah, we're on turn 3. Like, nah, it's 5 minutes. And I was like, I know other people. I know other mother be. I'm gonna have to edit.
Why did you not help it? Like, you're just choosing like bad words still. I don't know why.
Yo, fact.
I got it. Wait, what time are we at? 122. I gotta write that one down. Yeah, I know other mother be going.
Why are you still going?
Because it's fine. All right. The other one wasn't.
Oh my God. But yeah, I've been thinking, now that we're just talking about these ace cards, that new Metal Garurumon ace is so spicy, bro, because you get to trash the cards from your hand to gain the memory. You can trash the Nidhogg from your hand and gain memory off the Nidhogg.
That's what Varni has said earlier, yeah.
That's just so good.
But there are so many things that gain effects on trash and purple.
Underworld's Call.
Yeah, Underworld's Call.
You
trash Eismon.
Oh, so good. But I gotta say again, though, I'm really upset that they gave purple such a good card like that, because people that don't understand how to play purple are gonna ruin my life and make me go to time every single game.
But that card can also just like, it has the black box.
Go slap right on top of my blue.
So now,
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also, like I said, synergizes with Metal Garurumon X.
My favorite. I love these black box cards, bro, because you can slap you could slap that purple on top of like a black Garurumon, like Garuru. And then you could slap the blue Metal Garurumon X on top of the purple.
Exactly.
You get all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
Hell yeah.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's fun.
But it's fun. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what it boils down to, bro. Like the game has to the game has to keep going. Like you yelled at me the one podcast because you're like, what do you want the game not to advance? And that's so true.
Yeah,
like the game has to advance. Like what did you expect? Not you, Mike, but did people expect this game to just sit here and stagnate? What were they going to give us another keyword that doesn't, like they gave us barrier for BT13? What the hell is barrier? Do you know what barrier is? I know.
I'm going to be honest, but I don't even know what barrier is.
Exactly.
You lose a security to
prevent the deletion.
Oh, is that the yellow?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my point. We got a new keyword and they don't even like, it's not even like, oh, look, here's the new keyword kind of thing. Like that at the beginning of the set, they were like, yeah, a new keyword will be introduced. Well, it's barrier. And what is barrier doing? This way, it's like, yo, we've got ace, we've got overflow, we've got counter. It's going to change the way the game is played. And people are like, so you mean I can't play simple Digimon anymore?
But you know, it's
exactly what it is.
It's upsetting that
people are really complaining that, oh my God, I got, a thing.
Yeah.
I got a thing.
It sucks because it's so cool and I can't wait for Digimon to just like, I like that we keep expanding the card pool.
Yes.
Like I can't wait till we get to a point where the card pool is so expanded that I can just play decks that don't have to be themed decks anymore. I don't have to play like Metal Greymon or whatever. Like I don't know, Greymon Tribal. Like I don't have to play Greymon Tribal. I don't have to play Dark Knightmon. I don't have to play like I like all those decks, you know what I mean? But like like how cool is it going to be when we get to the point where there's such a big card pool that I can play non-archetype decks and just they're good. Like it doesn't have to be security control. It doesn't have to be rookie rush. It doesn't have to be like janky like that. It could just be like 5-colored champion.
It could be Dorbic.
Yeah, like anything. Like I don't know. Like and that's what I can't wait for. Like I like stuff like that. I can't wait for that. I mean, I also like archetype decks. Don't get me wrong, that's my shit. Like, but that's why I've been having so much fun with Mastamon. Is because it's an archetype deck, but it's there's so many different ways you can play it. There's so many, like that's why Dorbic is so cool because it's kind of like an archetype deck, but really you just get to slap whatever the hell you want under Dorbic and have fun. Like that's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Like. And that's again like black box Digimon stuff is cool. Like I can just put that over like that could change how Melga is played and like that kind of brings a deck back that's good, like all the way from BT9 into BT14. I don't think it's gonna be crazy meta defining or anything, but like it gives these older decks new life. Like that's fun. Digimon's one of those games where just because your deck from BT8 isn't tier 1 anymore doesn't mean it's bad. The decks don't really get worse. It's just the rest of the meta catches up to them. Like Imperial isn't a bad deck from BT8. It's just not as fast as everything else right now. You give that deck new cards, like breathe life back into it. That's so awesome.
Bro, Adrian mollywopped me with Imperial yesterday. He literally did the whole combo. He said, all right, swing, DNA, swing, HPD, Dragon mode, spin him out, swing, game. What you gonna do? Nothing. I got a kid. It is what it is.
Nothing at all. But like I love that. Like that's sweet.
It was the same thing with like I was like on like not tournament games. I was playing Fish Swarm.
Yes.
I just went, all right, cool. I went full combo. Got like 6 bodies on board. What are you doing about that? You can't do anything. I'm next turn swing game. You know what I'm saying? There's so many decks like that.
I even like I like just like the Omni Turbo decks, right? Where you drop like a champion for 6 or ultimate for 6. I mean, and like try and like rush into an Omni Turbo 5. Yeah, whatever it is.
These new Ace Digimon. Fun. It's gonna be fun to bring back this type of stuff.
It's cool to play like those Ace Megas. They cost 6, and like there's like I mean, if they get deleted, like your opponent's gonna plus, right? But to drop a mega for 6 and then try and do something spicy, like bro, you drop like that's like that brings life back into like a Lilith loop kind of almost. You drop Metal Garurumon for 6 and then you can just go into like a Turbo Zwart and spit stuff out.
Yeah,
that's cool. Like I don't like this, like my brain is spitting as someone who builds decks. Like there's so much cool stuff you can do.
And like, I don't
especially with the ones that are like the Magna Angema 4 cost.
That's what I mean. Like, that's cool.
I think the Lily, the Zudo and Lilymon, I think are also 4 cost drops. So that helps those type of decks.
Think of that in Mastermon, bro. Like, if I don't have the Angelmon or whatever, I can drop that for 4 and like keep my turn. If I have a Mirie and like a memory setter on the field, that's 4. I get to keep my turn still. That's so cool. I don't know. There's just stuff.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna make an Angelmon too, because they did all the Ace for all the
I peeped that too.
Like, people are saying that like they're afraid that like Ace Digimon are gonna push out, you know, old, like basically pre BT14 decks. Listen, if they handle it the way that Pokemon handles it, yes, it will. But that's because Pokemon pushes for, you know, when they introduce, for example, they just introduced EX. It's pushed. They want you to play a deck around EX. So they purposely make the cards and the support and everything around EX so much better than playing VMAX and V-Star and all the old stuff. But from what we've seen so far with Ace, of course, we still have actual reveals to get through. This was just a teaser, essentially. But from what it looks like, you can just take this stuff. I mean, you can throw it in its tribal deck, or you can just play it in its color deck. And it's good enough. Like, they might be staples enough, right? Like, I would play in any yellow deck for sure. I'd play 4 Magna Angemon. That card is just too good not to. In any blue deck, I would definitely consider playing Zudomon.
It doesn't like it kind of, but at the same time doesn't power creep old Magna.
Oh my goodness. Let's just touch on that.
I would play both of them together.
Hell
That's
yeah.
exactly. Somebody, I think it was in the Discord, right? Somebody was asking, would you like just not play old man and
No, I'm like, playing.
Why would you not
both.
Go 4 and 4? Because
the new one is like a champion.
Like I said, it kind of does at the same time, but doesn't, because it's a 4 cost job. You cover 1 if you have 5 or less. Now you're restricted with that. Plus it has overflow, so there's a chance of it just getting deleted and you're losing. You're essentially playing for 7 still. Like, if you think about it, and now you're doing it in a at times maybe in a worse way, because maybe you lose at 3 when you really don't want to. So now you have to question when you should drop it.
Plus, I mean, look at the fire art.
Or play the old one.
Look at how dope that is. You're gonna give that up?
Of course. But like that. But like that's the thing about these Ace cards with the overflow effects. You have to think about the potential of you getting effed down the line, right? Let's say if you go into, because there's so far at the moment, like just Metal Greymon, there's a Metal Greymon Ace and War Greymon Ace at the moment. I'm sure the others will have like the evolutions aced, but like let's say you have a Metal Greymon Ace, you Digivolve that into War Greymon Ace, right? Now there's a chance you can overflow for a -7. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a chance that could happen. So like, it was a joke, but like you can just do 100%. And you could somebody could just Hades force you and plus on it.
Literally,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For 5, and instead of
for 5, you mean for 1?
2. No, 2. It would be 2 because it's 7 and 4. It's 7 and 3.
Oh, I mean, for 2 of them. Yeah.
Because Metal Greymon is a overflow -3, and then War Greymon is a -4, so that's 7. So you were plussing 2 on it, which is correct when you think about it. Or like, you know, Guy Force for 1,
well,
or Chaos Degrade for 1. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Like, there's these things you have to think about when like playing these cards because of the overflow. You might lose your turn, and you might lose because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the same reason that like you and like Lychee decided to run Numemon in Machine Dramon rather than running Tankdramon. Because they both Digivolve for 1, but the difference is that Tankdramon hard drops for 6 compared to Numemon dropping for 3 and then Digivolving. So you're effectively paying the same cost, but you get the pluses of Digievolution. You get a card, and if you have something like the EX1 Metal Tyrannomon, you get to reveal top 6 or top 3, sorry, and look for a level 6. Like, it's that type of trade-off. It's about the distribution of memory rather than dropping it all at once. Like, I don't want it's the reason that you Digivolve. Exactly. You don't want to just give your opponent 10 memory to hard drop High Andromon. If you can Digivolve and get into High Andromon so you can do it more efficiently and not giving your opponent that much memory, like, that's the whole point. So these Ace Digimon having the overflow mechanic to lose memory, yeah, it effectively makes the 6-drop Melga 4 or sorry, 10. Sorry, because it has the overflow 4. It makes, like you said, the ultimates cost 7. So there's still the original cost. That's where the overflow part of it comes from. It's just divvying it up. It's letting you do it a turn earlier with the repercussions of what might happen when it gets deleted later, or removed, I should say.
Which could cost you the game when you do it.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't think these cards, outside maybe like, you know, like Secon, you're running 4 of the old and for the new Magna Angela. These decks I don't think these decks you're gonna like be like 4 Metal Greymon Ace and then like that's your main ultimate. I don't think you go that route. I mean, we could be wrong, obviously, right? We don't have the cards out yet, but like if I'm building like a War Greymon deck, I'm probably gonna go BT8, you know, Metal Greymon first, or at least the BT12 one. BT12 one's probably the better one for that type of deck, right? And then maybe throw in
just like 2 ace. Exactly.
Maybe. Or 1, depending on what your other secondary ultimate you prefer. So like, let's say if you like the BT8 one, you play at 2 of. You have the BT12 one at 4 of. Now you're at 6 ultimates. Do you want to put 2 for those ace? Maybe you don't, because that drawback. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that, you know, that comes into deck construction. And now it's not just about you copy and paste someone's deck. Maybe you don't like those ace Digimon anymore, or like not anymore. You don't like playing those periods because of the drawbacks. Now that's a question of how you want to play the deck. It's more deck diversity.
I have a ruling question. So I know that it doesn't really work like this. But what is considered like leaving the battle area? Like when you DNA Digivolve, is that considered leaving the battle area because it's a new Digimon entering, right?
No, so they clarified the way that overflow was worded. I don't have it up in front of me, but basically they clarified it so that Digivolving does not count as leaving the it does count as leaving the battle area, but they explicitly state when it leaves the battle area going to other than the battle area. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I see. I understand now.
If it's on board by itself, if it gets trashed, if it gets sent to the, you know, security, if it gets sent to the bottom deck, sent to your hand, and that overflow will activate. If you Digivolve it, if you source strip it, overflow activates. Even if you bounce the Digimon that's on top of it and that goes to the trash, that counts. So like anything just makes it go bye-bye basically, and you just overflow happens.
Yeah, if you guys, so for those of you watching, if you need something to like clarify all the new mechanics, Rust Marrow put out a video like last night when all this stuff was revealed. It's his newest video right now. It's called Blast Evolve with the new Ace Digimon. Go give that a watch. It explains everything that you need to know, and he does it so gracefully. And he even demonstrates
he's awesome
on the field. Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. Here's to clarify your question, Mike. So overflow, when this card in the battle area or under a card would be moved to somewhere else other than those 2 areas, lose X memory.
And Dan, you were saying, so does that count? Let's say I get de-digivolved. Does that count?
Yes.
Yeah.
If that is the top Digimon you get de-digivolved, yeah, you're losing 4.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. People are so up in arms about it, but I'm like, bro, like there are so many low cost options that now come to the forefront, because if you're going heavy on these ace decks, what does the meta do? The meta adapts, and the meta's gonna play.
Yeah, you want to hear something crack?
Yeah.
Yo, imagine you have like that War Greymon Ace is on board and it's like Digivolve over something, right? Someone raises a Greymon X BT9, Digivolve to BT8.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
For Digivolve for 2, you Digivolve that, and now you're plussing 4. So essentially you're just a +2.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much dumb counterplay to it that I think
so
people.
Good. It's so good.
They're so quick to jump the gun.
Like, overflow doesn't do anything to you because let's say if you're at 1 and you dies, you're giving them 3 regardless. Like, bro, what? Like, it's not about at that moment.
It's about saving your turn. Yeah,
exactly. That's probably ending your turn, and you're probably losing because it don't say, "Oh, I'm just gonna swing and die." Maybe that's occasionally that might happen if you have a bricked hand or something, but like, chances are not you're just gonna lose your turn out, and that might F you over. Like some of the people that were making just these comments were just like,
it's the armchair generals. I heard that term today on Reddit. I was like,
generals.
The armchair generals.
That makes no sense. Like, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
These people act like they're like, overflow's not strong enough. This, I don't know. Like, bro, it's a lot.
Have you played it yet, sir?
Sense of a game. Have you played a game?
I don't really.
Have you played Digimon?
I don't think people like. I think I don't really. The War Greymon's like good. Like I could definitely see it being like it's got its cases. I really like the Metal Garurumon.
Melga's really
that
good.
That Metal Garurumon is so good. I love its one attacking too. Like everything that card does is so perfect for like a spicy purple deck, dude.
Yes.
I love that it trashes from like when attacking, you trash one card from your hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level. That is so good. And like you get the plus off the trash. Like that is like through and through just like a perfect purple card. Like that is such a good card for purple.
But the drawback.
Y'all remember my my purple Metal Garurumon deck that I had built?
Yeah.
Hey, we're bringing that back with this. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but the drawback of overflow makes it so that when attacking isn't necessarily busted, because we don't have much removal on level 6s. So anytime that they put removal on a level 6, it's typically something either like Galacticmon, or it's got to do something wild, or it's got to have setup like Ulforce in a way, kind of. So to have, just something that deletes lowest level, and it's not an X antibody, it's not, a 5 cost to Digivolve 13k body, you got to have the drawback. And the drawback here is overflow. Your opponent decides to get rid of that, they're going to plus. Yeah, definitely. And honestly, that could cost you the game.
Also,
just because
that art is just so fire, bro. You have like a black Metal Garurumon in the background.
Yeah.
With it is such a good art, dude. That card, I really like that card a lot.
When they're gonna ever call Black Metal Garurumon Black Metal Garurumon?
I thought we were gonna get a deck like that eventually, dude. Like, cause I thought that was gonna be the power spike from like when people thought Melga was bad, bro. Can you imagine a black blue? Like, no, we don't need to be mixing those mechanics.
Brutal. They already have some cross color cards and they're not good. There's a reason they're not good, because they're not a good combination.
Yeah,
it's like Pyromon, I think it is.
Yeah, right? Hookmon and some level 5.
Yeah, but I really,
I think it's called Pyromon.
I'm a big fan of that Metal Garurumon. I just think it's really cool, and I think that it opens up the design space a lot.
I agree with that.
Like, there's some cool stuff you can do with it, and I don't know. And I think that overflow just works well, though. Like, we'll see what happens when it comes out.
I think just the idea of Blast Evolution is just cool, because there's so many instances that we see Blast Evolution, whether it's from Digimon World 3, you get jumped in the middle of the field and you're about to get your ass kicked, and then your Digimon's like, ha ha ha, Blast Digivolve, Seraphimon, out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna die this fight. Like, that's so fun. And that's just from the game, let alone in the anime, when they're out here Blast Digivolving to save their partners, or in whatever other media.
There was Blast Evolution, the X Antibody movie. I think there was a Blast Evolution too.
I believe so as well. I think it was for Doru Grey, wasn't it? Or was it for? It was either for Doru into Doruga or Doruga into Doru Grey, one of the two. But just that, like, it's just cool. Like, it's just cool to see mechanics from the lore make its way into the game and see how it's like.
That's why I love the game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's the one of the things that attracted me to the game. Period. Is like they bring these cards and they make them like very lore accurate in the sense of what it can do, and it's just like it makes it so much cooler for those like people who've been like Digimon fans for like such a long time and stuff.
Like, look at like I love that Leomon cards all have like on deletions.
They all die. All on deletion, baby.
Because they know what it is.
Shout out to my boy Austin. I was playtesting with him yesterday, but I was like, oh man, like I was trying to remember what. One second, let me grab the card real quick. I was trying to remember what this one card from Tamers, like I forgot completely like what it was, even like its purpose in the actual show.
Is it blue card?
No, it's a purple card.
A purple card from
Doberman. I was like, I haven't watched. I haven't watched Tamers in so long. I was like,
hey yo,
I don't even remember what Doberman does. And he was like, oh, he's only there for to like die. And I was like, oh my god, you're right. Yeah. Like that's why I don't remember. But like that's why he has an on deletion in the card game, is because he literally shows up and then just dies.
Yep.
But,
Digimon is such a love letter.
She technically helps them Digivolve because when the Dober die, whatever, I forget what it was.
Yeah. Share your screen, Varni, and pull up these cards, bro, because I love the new borders on these cards. They're not exactly they're not full arts, but they're so good looking.
And the cool thing, if you notice around the play cost, they added like these it's like a gauge kind of for blind people, colorblind people, to know what color they are and stuff.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like that color right there means like that gauge is like 7, I think it is. It like significant. I can't speak right now.
There you go.
I'm tired. It just shows, it means that it's black basically.
But yeah, I also love, like, if you go to the Metal Greymon, like that dude, you can't even see the play cost. It's wild.
Yeah, Metal. Well, I don't think these are final. I don't think,
really? Damn.
Yeah, I think they're still like in design. Because there's just no way that you can cover, like, realistically speaking, there's no way that you can cover the play cost like this one with Zudomon covering the Digivolution.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they would never allow that.
Where it just goes over.
It goes behind it. Yeah, I don't think they'll allow that.
Upsetting. I hope they keep the borders though. Like I think that the Metal Garurumon and the War Greymon are probably the final design. They look pretty good. I love how they look though. They're sick.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are at 1:45 for this podcast, so we are gonna wrap that up. If you guys are not part of the Discord, I implore you, please join the Discord. The Discord is a fun place where we talk during the off time of DigiPod. There's a lot of cool conversations. I just made a new channel today. It's basically a market watch channel. Not really like for us to do actual market watch, but like I buy cards all the time, and so does Mike. And so does Dan. So we see things, and it's things that you guys should know about, and we can get that information to you so much faster by joining the Discord. So please join our Discord, interact with us.
I make some bad shit decisions way too often.
Yeah, this man's Max already masked him on now. He got a gold Mastamon.
Yeah.
Do you have it on you?
No, not yet. I'm buying it this Thursday from shout out again to my boy Austin. He got me hooked up with his friends, so I'm gonna buy it on Thursday. I'm really excited for it. So
good ass stuff, bro. But if you're not part of our Discord, join that. Follow us on our socials. Tell us what you thought about the episode. Let us know what you want us to talk about next. Let us know what you think about Blast, Digivolution, counters, and mulligans. I mean, that's the hot topics right now, and everybody's got thoughts on those. And hey, listen, if you guys want to flame us, flame us, bro. Like,
I don't want to get flamed.
You want to get flamed?
You can flame Varni.
Yeah, like I can't talk today. Clearly,
our words are not the be all end all. Like, if you think we're wrong, let us know. Like, it's good debate. It's something that we definitely talk about, whether in Discord or we address it in the next pod. Anyways, that all being said, we're gonna call it an episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. So until we see you guys the next time, peace out.
Take it easy. Peace.
Catch you on the next one.